Hey Clashes, we just had the first Clan War League season after all of those crazy balance changes with the equipment. We had the new levels for the supercharges, we had as well troop nerfs and as well the overgrowth nerf. If we take a look at the top ranks in the in-game ranking, we see only a couple of stars less compared to before the nerfs. And yes, that is just the top teams. So I thought we should just check out the stats, the numbers, the facts on how hard the game has actually become after the changes. So let's take a look. And to learn more about those numbers, we are visiting the ClashSpot website, because on this website we can see all of those different numbers we're looking forward to when it comes down to hit rate, when it comes down to town hall distribution over the different tiers, over the different ranks in the Clan War League, for example. As well, we're going to take a look at the rankings compared to before the nerfs, to after, and to compare that as well to Town Hall 15, because I have seen some crazy comments of people saying that we're going back to Town Hall 15, which, yeah, sounds strange. Let's just check if this is actually strange based on the numbers. We can pick every single season, October, September, and so on, as well from last year's if you want to. So we're going to have a big number collection. So the important thing is to know, what should we take a look at? If we take a look at this graphic, we can see where each town hall is mostly represented in those different rankings. So we can see in the champion rankings in the Clan War League, that's mostly dominated by Town Hall 16. That is the big yellow bar. Purple then is Town Hall 15, and so on. I think for this video, we're going to mostly look at champion up to Crystal 2. I think that's a quite good range, because I know not everyone is a max town hall watching the video, but I would say most of my viewers are higher town levels in general. So with knowing that, I think let's firstly check how the hit rate was before the balance changes. And I think the first important thing I have to explain here is, how do all of those numbers work? We have at the top, like in green, a 3-star, then a 2-star, 1-star, or a 0-star. The percentage below is pretty much the hit rate, which means the success rate of how likely it is that those cases are actually happening. So for example, in Champion 1, we can see it's a 79, nearly 80% hit rate, success rate of 3 stars, which means out of 100 attacks, nearly 80 were 3 stars, which is insane. I know it's Champion 1, which is the highest level, but still 8 out of 10 attacks being 3 stars is kinda crazy. If we're going down a little bit where most of the players are, with, for example, Master, we can see it's still nearly a 50%. Nearly every second attack is a 3-star, and this is now not the pro section anymore. This is the regular clasher. I know a lot of people are always saying, hey, iTzu, the game is only getting balanced for the pros, which is kind of nonsense right now, but let's imagine this would not be nonsense. This stats really is already showing that casuals are like 3-starring nearly every second attack. And this is what the stats are showing. The question now though is, because I have seen some crazy people saying that, well, we're going back to Town Hall 15, so let's do some comparison. How did the stats for Town Hall 15 look like? And for those who thought that the current game feels like Town Hall 15, this might be a big surprise, but take a look at the difference of the stats. The best players in the game back then had a success rate of 32%. This means around 3 out of 10 attacks were 3 stars compared to the current 8 out of 10. But yes, those are the best of the best players in the game. What about the majority of Channel 16s, for example, where most of the Channel 16s are located? I would assume most of my viewers who are Channel 16 are more maybe in the lower champion area, but let's just talk about where most of the Channel 16s are, which is around the Master tier. And if we take a look at that, we had around 14, 18, and 20% depending on Master 1, 2, and 3. Compared to the current 47, 43, and 42%. That is an insane difference. Yes, the stats on the right side are not the current stats of the current after the nerf version, but still, that is just a massive difference. And I feel like now we should reveal what the current stats of this last Clan War League season after the balance changes look like. And comparing now the stats, we see quite a big change from before the changes to after the changes, because there was a lot of impact, because there were so many things together. Equipment changes, We have the supercharges, troop nerfs, as well the druid right before the clan war league, which was not a good timing whatsoever, as well the nerf to the overgrowth spell. So there were a lot of things happening at the same time, and you can see that in the hit rate. From nearly 80%, we're going to 66%, which is around a 13% decrease in hit rate for the best players. Which is, to be honest, not as much, but hey, it is something, right? Even bigger was the change for Champion 2 and Champion 3, because those were the players who were relying the most on the OP stuff, which then was quite noticed in the hit rate decrease, the same for the highest level of Master. And at this point, we're getting into the more casual area with Master 2, Master 3, and Crystal. And those were the players who were not relying as much on the OP troops in the game. Those players are not watching content creators or YouTube in general that much because, well, they are just casually playing the game. And they have not seen as much of an impact. I mean, you can take a look at that. Master 3 had a 3% difference in hit rate. Crystal 1% difference in success rate of a 3-star, and nearly 0% difference in Crystal 2. So you can already tell that the true casual players have most likely not even noticed most of those changes. Those players who are active on YouTube and already by that are no casual players anymore, they have noticed the difference because they're looking for the best strategy and trying to take advantage of that, which was the droid by far. I mean, that thing was just busted, broken, it was just, yeah, put in just whatever word you want. It was just way too strong. So the change overall was good, but I can repeat it again, the timing was just pretty bad. Are we now close to Town Hall 15 again? I guess by the numbers you can already tell that the answer is a pretty big and obvious no. We're not even close to Town Hall 15 back then. Now, this is the moment where I want to highlight two really important things. What I feel like is a good change and for me personally, and what I think is a good change for the game. Because for me personally, I would have liked to see the game again way harder, to make it more challenging for myself. But I would put myself as well pretty easily in the Champion 1 tier of players, which means really high up there. But at the same time, that's not where a lot of players are. And this is what the realistic and what the true reason is why this feedback should not be listened to. It is my personal feedback for my personal playstyle. But at the same time, I give always feedback as well to Supercell or to you as viewers that this is how I think the game should be balanced for the game, for the majority of clashes. And this is where I say that it should be not harder than right now when you're talking about the overall game experience, because players just want to relax, want to have fun, want to have 3 stars. I think the important thing here is that we have troops, spells, equipments which are in line to each other. And this is something which was achieved, in my opinion, with those recent changes. We have no standout anymore where there is one equipment about like over anything else. Yes, there's still like some ups and downs, but it's like mostly in line. The same for the troops. Before, if you used anything with a droid, you were just on a really good run and you had most likely good chances for 3-starring. If you had not used the droid, well, your chances are not that high. Which in my opinion now has changed. You have a lot of different options. We have way more variety right now in the game, which is something good because it allows everyone to play whatever they want, which should be the goal in a game where you're not getting forced to play one specific troop. Again though, the timing was pretty bad of the last changes. But what do you think about those changes? What do you think about the numbers? Did I miss something? Did I maybe, I don't know, overreact to something? Or what would you say? I think overall, those stats look really, really solid. We have not really seen any changes for the more casual players. We have seen for the more casual YouTube audience some changes, but I think they will adapt. And yes, the hit rate will go down a little bit, but again, I think it's still alright for the overall game. But hey, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next clash video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.